A newly born baby's eyes look perfectly normal to us. They open, close, and blink just like eyes of any grown-up person. However, doctors tell us that the infant does not have vision. The newly born baby does not have capacity to see. Only after a month, the child begins to see only faint shadow type of images. Initially, the child begins to have black and white vision. Only towards the end of a period of 1 year, the child begins to see colors and recognize faces of persons and identify one's family members. As time goes by, the child begins to see things on its own. Even then, it is the child's parents who begin to shape the child's vision. The child needs constant help of its parents to differentiate between good and evil, between sin and grace, between virtue and vice. Initially, even a sharp knife is a playing tool for the child. A pointed nail or a needle is pleasing and attractive. It is parents who educate their child to safety and precaution. Though child sees everything, parents continue to shape the child's vision and teach it to differentiate from right and wrong, from good and evil, from an enemy and a friend, a good touch and an evil touch. In the Gospel, we hear of sight to a blind man from birth. At the face value, it can be considered a miracle of Jesus. However, John offers a deeper meaning to the community he is writing to. The blind man is in darkness. He is covered with mud. After washing, the blind man begins to see. This incident reminded the Johannine community of the washing away of sins by the sacrament of baptism. Darkness is taken away and the blind begins to see differently. The story ends with a blind man making a confession of faith and worshiping Jesus. We all see, but there are some who are able to pick up details that a normal eye fails to see. Believing is the best way of seeing. Faith trains us to see with eyes of faith. The first reading is taken from the book of 2 Samuel. We all pass judgments and decide on things. It teaches that God chooses for His work whom the world often despises and rejects. At first, Prophet Samuel sees as human sees The moment he took notice of Eliab, he begins to think of him as the chosen one of God. At that moment, God reveals to him that he needs to see as God sees. Man looks at outward appearance, while the Lord looks at the heart. When he sees as God wants him to see, the reading tells us, Spirit of the Lord rushes upon David. The psalmist in the responsorial psalm echoes a song of the believer. The Lord is my shepherd. There is nothing I shall want. When a person sees God as a believer, he finds every need fulfilled in the shepherd. St. Paul, in the second reading, invites us to walk as children of the light and to listen what is pleasing to the Lord. We have sight. We are able to see. Let us not sleepwalk. Rather, let us allow Christ to shine through us.